What's up guys, hey Anthony here at inGear, and I have two really awesome and very unique bikes. So we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison of the Ride1UP and the Propella bike. Both of these are road tire bikes. They got the real skinny tires. They're single speed, and I really like both of the bikes. And so from here on out, we're gonna talk about some of the differences. All right, so let's start with the tires. We're gonna move over here. The tires on the Propella are just a little bit thicker. That really, I think, comes down to preference, and maybe going over gravel, you might feel a little more bumps one way or the other. The displays are very different. The display on the Propella is a lot larger than the display on the Ride1UP, but they're both very minimal, which is great. It's not overcomplicated. So neither of these bikes have throttles. These are single speed pedal assist only bikes. This bike, the Propella, goes 18.5 miles per hour with the pedal assist. The Ride1UP, however, goes 24 miles with the pedal assist. So there's definitely a speed difference when it comes to these two models. The main difference that I see between these two bikes are the batteries. Now this one, as you can see, in the place where it would normally be a water bottle is actually the battery, which is removable via key. So it comes with a set of keys. You can remove this battery. The benefit to having a removable battery is that you could get an extra battery, throw it in your backpack, you get double the ride time. So that is the benefit of having an external battery. You can have one on the charger while you're out riding. With the Ride1UP, the battery is actually hidden within the down tube. So it's not easily removed. And so you actually charge the bike just by where the pedals are and the belt drive system. The benefit to having a hidden battery is that it's very clean. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. It doesn't even look like an electric bike. The benefit to that, obviously, is that it doesn't draw a lot of attention. So for security reasons, if someone's just looking at this bike right off the go, unless they're looking up here at the front, they might not even notice or realize that this is an electric bike. So the aesthetics, there is no battery. It's very streamlined by having it hidden. So I like that. So we've talked about the battery and the differences there. That ultimately comes down to personal preference. My personal preference is the hidden battery, just because I like the way that it looks and it doesn't add any complicated space issues. It's just a very streamlined, clean bike. As we work our way down, we see the motor. Now the motor is a big difference. The motor and the drive system on the Ride1UP is a belt drive, and it's a 350 watt motor. It is a 500 peak power motor. So this is why you get up a little bit more in miles per hour, which honestly is awesome, especially if you're going up hills. You come over here, this is a 250 watt motor, 400 peak power, and this is a chain drive. So it definitely rides a little bit different. This is actually the only belt drive that I own, and I love it. So there's a difference there, but I think what it comes down to is overall power and price. This one is far more powerful because you're getting an extra 150 watt peak versus this one. So if power is important to you, Ride1UP is definitely the way to go. Something to think about when it comes to belt drive bikes is storing the bikes. Now, it's pretty durable, the belts. Obviously, that we have belts in the cars. Now they're using belts on bikes. But if this was stored out in the sun for a long time, very dry heat weather, you know, this might degrade over time, a belt, versus the chain. The chain, you could pick up a chain bike, get on it after 10 years, and it's still gonna function with limited amount of care. So as far as durability, the belt drive might need some extra forethought as far as when you're storing it, where you're storing it, that kind of stuff. Just something to think about, because a chain bike is extremely common, very easy to take care of, and it can be stored outside without really causing any issues when you go to ride the bike. So now both of these bikes are actually fairly light. This one comes in at 33 pounds, this one comes in at 37 pounds, and I think that's because obviously the external battery is a little bit beefier, the tires are a little bit thicker, but other than that, they are both extremely light and they're both extremely fun to ride because it's so easy to maneuver. If you're looking to get a little bit more information on this bike, what it's like to ride it, we do an in-depth review in the video in the description and linked above. Now, both of these bikes are extremely easy to transport via the skewer. You can take the front tire off, which makes it really mobile. We tossed it in the back of the Prius to get here, so both very mobile bikes. As you can see, this one is mounted on a wood block because this bike actually doesn't come with a kickstand, which you know, that's up to preference, but I like when bikes have a kickstand so that I don't have to just lean it up against something if there's not maybe a good bike rack by. I don't like scraping it up against the paint, leaning stuff, so I prefer a kickstand. You can definitely add a kickstand, there's place for it, but the Propella comes stock with it. Now let's talk about price. There's definitely a difference in price. This one has more power and it's cheaper. This one has less power and it's more expensive. But you have to think of the trade-offs. This one, you have an external battery where you can purchase another battery, have extra battery power, you know, with you as you're riding. This one doesn't. Everything's internal. And so both of these bikes are awesome, and they definitely come in at different prices. So this one is a little bit more expensive, and this one is a little cheaper. If you want a little bit more in-depth review on both of these bikes, click in the link above me or in the description below. We cover a lot more in detail of riding each of these bikes.